Hi everyone, welcome to Heart Joy Crochet. My name's Jill. Thanks for joining me today to learn how to double crochet. I crochet in US terms. The UK would be treble crochet. The double crochet is considered one of the fundamental stitches, and they are the starting point for many patterns, and more complex stitches often build upon them. In today's tutorial, you will learn how to double crochet, how to use stitch markers, and how to count your stitches. Today you will need some yarn, a crochet hook, and some stitch markers. If you don't have any stitch markers and you have a couple of bobby pins, you can use those. So let's get crocheting. I'm going to start by making a slip knot and a starting chain. If you haven't learned how to do those yet, links to my videos on those subjects will be in the description. Okay, so I'm going to make a foundation chain of 16 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. I'm making my chains with a 6mm hook today, so they're looser and easier for you to see. Okay, so we're going to work our first double crochet into the second chain from the hook. So you've got the loop on the hook there, and you've got the first chain directly underneath that. You can see right there, the V there is the first chain, and directly underneath that is the second chain. That's where we're going to go into, right there. So we need to yarn over, insert your hook into the second chain, yarn over again, pull through the loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull it through the first 2 loops on your hook, like that. Yarn over again, pull through the 2 remaining loops. That's your first double crochet, so congratulations. So now I'm going to put a stitch marker in here. You can see that's the V of the top of the double crochet. I'm going to insert the stitch marker in there, and that's the first stitch of our row. So when people are beginning to crochet, it can be really hard to recognize the first and last stitches of the row, and it can become problematic because stitch counts rely on being able to recognize those stitches. So this just makes it really easy. You can easily identify that that's the first or last stitch of the row. Okay, we're going to go on to our second double crochet. So you're not going to crochet into there because that's the elongated chain that we just crocheted into. So that's already got a stitch in there. We're going to go into the next chain, which is there. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over again, pull the loop through there. Yarn over, pull that through the first 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull it through the remaining 2 loops. That's your second double crochet. Let's do it again. So we're not going to crochet into there, into that big hole there, because that's where we just crocheted into. That's already got a stitch in it. We're going to go to the next one here. We're going to yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first loops on your hook, first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops on your hook. There you go, there's number 3. Let's try it again. So this is the big hole here that we just crocheted into, so that's already got a stitch. We're not going into there, we're going into the next chain right here. So let's go. Yarn over, insert into the chain, yarn over again, pull through. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through. There you go, there's another one. Let's go again. So we're not going in there. That's where we just crocheted into. That's already got a stitch. This is the next chain here. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over. There's the next chain there, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through again. There you go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches, 6 double crochets that we just did. Okay, so let's try and go to the end of the row and see if you can recognize the chain and where you need to go into. So we yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. I'm going to keep going until I'm nearly at the end of the row. Okay, I'm going to stop here and I want to see if you can count how many stitches I've got to go to the end of the row. Can you see them? I can count 1, 2, 3. Okay, there you go. There's your first row of double crochets. So next I'm going to show you how to count your stitches. So you can see here that you've got the stitches here. That's 1, 2, 3. And on top of your stitch there, which is your double crochet, you can see there's a V on top. And that's what we use usually to count the stitches. So we're going to count the V's on top. So we're going to start up this end where the stitch marker is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and number 15 is the stitch with the loop still in it. Okay, so now to start our next row, we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. And we're going to turn our work. So the chaining of the 2, just make sure that our work, so the yarn is at the height needed to do a row of double crochets. So you can see you've got the loop on the hook here and the 2 chains directly beneath it. So in the first row we were doing our double crochets into the chain, but now we're going to be going into the previous row of double crochets. So you can see you've got the 2 chains there. If you pull this apart, that's your first stitch right there. And that's where we're going to go into. So we're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over again, pull through. We're going to go into the next stitch. So you can see that's the stitch we just crocheted into. We're not going in there, we're not going in that big hole, we're going into the next stitch, which is right there. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through. There you go, you've got number 2. So there's this big hole again. That's the stitch we just double crocheted into. We're not going to double crochet into there again. We're going to go to the next stitch, which is right there. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. Excuse me, I need a bit more yarn. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through. So you can see you've got the big hole here, just crocheted into that. The next stitch is right here, that's where we're going into, right there. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, so I'm going to keep going down this row and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I'm here nearly at the end. How many stitches can you see? I can see 1, 2, and the last one is number 3 with the stitch marker in it. There you go, that's your second row of double crochets. Okay, here I am. I've just gone ahead and I've done 4 rows of double crochet, so you can see what it looks like in this swatch. That's what 4 rows of double crochet looks like. There you go. So I've also got a couple of other swatches I made. So there's your double crochet. I've also got a swatch of half double crochet, so you can see the difference. And then below that, I've got a swatch of single crochet. So there's 4 rows of single crochet, 4 of half double crochet, and 4 of double crochet, and you can see the difference. I have links below to my crochet tutorials on the half double crochet and single crochet if you're interested. So congratulations on learning the double crochet. Let me know how you went in the comments. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more tutorials like this, it would be so great if you would subscribe to Heart Joy Crochet. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.